On the 4th of July, fireworks lit the skies in celebration of freedom. There, beneath the glow of the arena lights, a different kind of fire was about to ignite. Fire not in the sky, but on the hardwood. Between heartbreak and healing, between silence and thunder. Las Vegas Aces, once the queens of the court, carrying the weight of championships, pride, and expectations. The Indiana Fever, a team still finding its rhythm, still searching for that one heart that could make the whole world notice. Tonight, Fever didn't just show up. It bloomed. Love stories don't always begin with kisses or candlelight. Sometimes they begin with sweat on the palms, sneakers gripping the floor, a basketball that holds more meaning than words ever could. In the opening tip, there was a quiet determination in Indiana's eyes. No fear, no hesitation, only hunger. They weren't playing just another game. They were writing a love letter, their city, the game, themselves. And as the Aces took the court, confident but calm, they didn't yet know that this night would not belong to them. It would belong to a rising symphony from the heartland. The Fever started with grace, passing like whispers, shooting like confessions under moonlight. The ball moved between them. Poetry in motion. Every shot they made wasn't just 2 points. It was a declaration. We're here. We're ready. We deserve to be loved like champions. Aliyah Boston. Oh, Aliyah, with her strength rooted like an oak, and her moves soft as summer rain. She didn't play. She danced. Every step in the paint was a verse of truth. Aces tried to match it. Kelsey Gray scanning like a tactician. Aliyah Wilson rising with pride. Something felt off, as if their heartbeat skipped a beat too many. As if the magic that once sparked so easily was missing its rhythm. Sometimes, in love, the one who chases isn't always the one who catches. Indiana didn't chase too. As the second quarter began, there was a tension in the air. Not the kind that screams, the kind that whispers in your ear. Something's happening. The Las Vegas Aces, dynasty used to roaring applause and commanding the floor, now found themselves in unfamiliar territory, not trailing by numbers, by soul. Indiana had tapped into something deeper, not just strategy, not just hustle, but a kind of belief that no coach can teach, no analyst can predict. Kelsey Mitchell, her shot, a letter sealed with confidence. Movement, the poetry of a woman who has waited too long to be seen. With every flick of her wrist, she painted truth on the canvas of the game. 3 points. Another blow. Another verse in this beautiful heartbreak for Vegas. And on the other end, Vegas tried to respond. Their shots rimmed out like unanswered phone calls. Their passes sailed wide like love letters never opened. Aliyah Wilson, the queen herself, fought to carry them. Even queens need an arm. Tonight, hers was quiet. The Fever's defense wasn't just pressure. It was presence. Every lane they closed was like a door shutting on yesterday's pain. They weren't playing to survive. They were playing to transform. Rewrite the story they've carried for seasons. Narrative of rebuilding, of waiting. Tonight, they weren't waiting anymore. They were the storm. The Aces, they looked up, only to realize the sky was no longer theirs. Midway through the second, Indiana pulled away like a lover who's made peace with goodbye. They weren't arrogant. They weren't flashy. Just certain, like someone who knows their worth, knows this is their time. Vegas called a timeout, trying to regroup, trying to remember the magic they used to summon so effortlessly. Sometimes, magic disappears quietly, not with a scream, with a sigh. Even the bench players for Indiana played with hearts too full to contain. Every substitution was a thread in this tea. As the buzzer sounded for halftime, the Aces walked into the locker room not defeated, questioning where the fire had gone, where the rhythm had disappeared, and whether this was just one bad night, the beginning of something slipping through their fingers. Meanwhile, Indiana held their heads high, not in pride, but in quiet power, because sometimes, the most romantic thing you can do is show up for yourself. Tonight, the Fever showed up, for each other, for every soul that ever dared to dream. Halftime came, not as a break, but as a reckoning. In the quiet tunnels of the arena, two teams stood on opposite ends of the same question. What does it mean to fight for something you love? For the Las Vegas Aces, it meant staring into the mirror of a scoreboard that didn't flatter them. For Indiana, it meant holding their breath, knowing that greatness can be delicate, that even the brightest flame must be protected. And as the third quarter began, the Fever came back to the floor, not just to finish what they started, but to prove it was no accident. Their passes still crisp, their movement still fluid, their chemistry intoxicating. They weren't just ahead, they were in control. Every possession felt like a slow dance. Every shot, like a note in a love song, meant only for this moment, the heartbeat behind this melody. She didn't need to score, she orchestrated. She reading the floor like a lover reads a letter. Every cut, every shift, every hesitation. She understood it before it even happened. The single bounce pass. He turned geometry into affection. Basketball into ballet. The crowd leaned in, not just fans now. Witnesses to something tender, something rare. But Vegas. Oh, Vegas. So many nights they'd been the storm. So many games they'd danced with dominance. Tonight it was as if they were chasing memories. And no longer answered their call. Aliyah Wilson, still fighting. Still hoping. It's hard to lift a city. Every fever steal. Felt like taking back a piece of themselves. Every fast break. Felt like releasing a secret they had carried too long. They weren't just winning. They were healing. Together. Every assist was a promise. Every rebound was a reminder. We've been through too much. Let this slip away. Alyssa Smith. Footwork carved in grace. Finishes at the rim. Soft as goodbyes you never wanted to say. Kelsey Mitchell? Still fearless. Still carving paths through shadows. Her game, not loud. Impossible to ignore. Fever didn't just hold the lead. They honored it. Like a fragile love they had waited years to feel. And now that it was here, protected it like treasure. Vegas tried to breathe. Made three. Blocked shot. Momentary rhythm returning. Love, once shaken, is hard to trust again. The aces looked uncertain. Not beaten, but burdened. Moved like dancers who had forgotten the music. Each play full of effort. Missing the spark. Missing that unspoken thread. That binds hearts in harmony. By the final minutes of the third, Indiana was no longer proving anything. We're just being free, full, and apologetic. The story didn't need validation anymore. It was being written right here, one possession at a time. They had waited seasons for this moment, and now they owned it. Vegas? They weren't broken, just quiet, listening to the echoes of what once was. As the third quarter came to a close, the lights didn't flicker, the crowd didn't scream. Instead, it was this warm, still glow, realization that maybe this game wasn't just about victory. Maybe it was about rebirth, about choosing yourself, about writing the kind of love story that doesn't need a fairy tale ending, because it is the beginning.